Hello, and welcome to today's episode of the Elite Health and Wellness Show. My name is Clay, and I'm the owner and founder of EliteHealthOnline.com. Today's episode is really exciting because we're talking about the emergency prescription kit. Keyword there being prescription. Many of you are very prepared for a strike to our grid, war, anything. You've got food, water stored for at least a week. Some of you are very, very prepared with bunkers and all kinds of things, but this prescription kit is designed for everyone. Whether you're just someone who has a second home, you travel overseas, you even travel within the country. This emergency prescription kit here will allow you to have prescription medication at your disposal for all types of ailments. And we're going to dive into that today and just how easy it is to get. So my guest here, Michaela Rivera, is our Director of Scientific Affairs and Business Development, and we're going to dive in now. So Michaela, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
We have 3 packages that we can offer to people that they can literally get with 2 clicks of the mouse and put in your credit card. No appointments needed, simply a virtual consult. But let's walk through exactly what is the Elite Health Emergency Prescription Kit, and let's walk through the different packages.
Yes. So, of course, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me. There are 3 kits options in the emergency prescription kit. The largest kit, being our Elite kit, has 26 prescription medications in it. I want to touch on prescription, like Clay mentioned earlier. These are things that are only available with a doctor's written order. So these are not prescriptions that you're going to get over the counter. While there are some certain options that you are encouraged to have, these are things that you require a prescription for anytime that you want to receive them. There are some smaller kits. So we have an advanced kit, which features 17 medications?
17 medications.
And a basic kit, which features 8 medications. The importance of all of these is that each kit is designed really to be broad spectrum. So they're going to contain a little bit of everything from antibiotics and antivirals over to pain, GI discomfort medications, things for, even some of the more advanced kits will have anti-parasitic options, and really anything that you could need in the event of an emergency, you don't have access to a healthcare provider, or really even more for peace of mind as well. Maybe you, like Clay said, you do have a second home, you have a ranch out further away from, the central community. It might take you quite some time to get to a doctor. Or maybe you don't just have the most reliable healthcare provider. And like most people know, it can be hard to get really any medication nowadays. So some of these medications that can help delay the necessity of reaching out to a prescriber are actually very easy to get if you know where to go. And really, Elite Health Online is one of those places.
Yeah, it's so amazing. The world's so volatile now, right?
Yes.
I mean, we just recently had a war. We didn't know what was going to happen, right? Remember 9/11? It might have been several days before you could get back into the doctor's office.
Yeah.
If you were traveling, you were stuck somewhere.
During COVID, right?
During COVID, the power grid. The society is so much more fragile than we actually think it is. I mean, if for some reason trucks could not deliver food tomorrow, the grocery stores would be out of food in 24 hours.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's that essential. So imagine trying to get a prescription medication for just even something simple as an ear infection.
Well, we
How
were
painful is that?
bouncing it back and forth of this idea of, there's a solar flare coming on that might disable the internet,
Right.
for a short amount of time. Well, I mean,
Right.
that could devastate
Right.
really anything, but particularly healthcare, because a lot of prescriptions are sent through,
Right.
the internet, through a secure
Right.
software,
Right.
which is one of those things, that's just really unpredictable.
But take a look at this price point. Okay, so for the Elite Kit, for example, $999. Okay, let's say you're traveling. Let's say you're in Boston and you come down with with the flu, Tamiflu. First of all, to go to an emergency clinic, get that prescription filled. I mean, you're talking $600-700 to walk out of an.
And that's if they take your insurance.
If they take your insurance,
Yeah.
right? If you're lucky, as opposed to just traveling with this kit and having it. Let's say you get an ear infection and you're traveling. Extremely painful. It could take hours to get into the doctor, or maybe call your doctor at home and get it sent to a pharmacy, then pick it up. I mean, this is talking about walking around prepared at all times
Yeah.
to be able to take care of basic ailments that occur, but it could be very discomforting or actually life-threatening. We talked about strep throat. When strep throat comes on, we all know what it feels like, right?
Yep.
That could be life-threatening if untreated.
Absolutely. It will
If it
eat your
took
heart
4
valves.
days, yeah. So you can be prepared for anything. And we treating things like eye infections, abdominal infections, ear infections, allergic reactions, wounds, fungal infections. I mean, all the basic things that can happen here that you would need to go to your primary care doctor and get a simple prescription for.
Yeah.
You're prepared.
Absolutely. And I think, one thing that's important to touch on is how hard it is at other places to get these.
Well, just get one,
Yeah,
much less
get
go to your
one.
doctor and ask for 26.
26.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, a lot of it is you really can't put a price on health. And you can't really put a price on peace of mind either.
Yeah.
So whether this is, I want to stress how there's no one person for this. These are, while these might be your preppers, people who are aware of the instability in the social economic climate right now, the social political climate, this is also your people who, live in remote areas, or maybe you're sending a student, maybe you have a kid that's you're sending to
Right.
school. They might not have the best access to medication. Maybe you really, like you said, are traveling. We have, great employees and friends who
Right.
will travel in, buses and motorhomes and aren't always in areas where
Right.
your insurance is taken.
Right.
Or, you have access to a primary care provider and it can take days to reach them.
Well, let's even talk about more practical advantage here. Tamiflu. We all know when we come down with the flu. Sometimes we don't know that it's the flu, but sometimes we know that a friend, a neighbor, someone we were with at church said, I have the flu yesterday. I came down with it, and they let you know, or you call them on the phone and they say, oh my God, I came down with the flu this morning. I was with you yesterday.
Like, what?
And they tested positive. You have Tamiflu right here.
Mhm.
You don't have to go to the doctor or do anything. You can just jump on prophylactically jump on Tamiflu earlier. We know the earlier you start, the better. You got ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, things. If COVID makes a rebound, you're prepared. It's just all about being prepared, and there's no price tag on some of these things. Just avoiding, even missing one day of work, or your trip just getting spoiled because diarrhea comes on, and that can be a disaster when you're traveling.
Right. And people don't know. So that's the best part about, working with Elite Health Online. Not only is the process seamless and very easy, but also this is designed by our team of experts who know what you need. So in the event that you do have, a GI discomfort, we will provide you with, not only the antibiotics, but things like loperamide, which a lot of people might really not be familiar with, and will help increase your recovery and, fight the underlying infection that you might have without requiring you to have to go see a provider, especially if you're in an area where you just don't have access to one. And I think that's one thing that's important to note for this, is that this is not intended to replace your primary care provider, or, if you do have something that comes on and you have access to an urgent care or a local, regional healthcare facility, please go. But for peace of mind and in the event of an emergency, 26 medications that can help you in really any instance, everything from, pain, so high doses of, ibuprofen, the things that people don't think about, like what do we got here? Cyclobenzaprine. People don't really think about these things that they need. And then we will provide you with the instructions on how to use these so that when you do have concerns, you have that
Very
information.
experienced travelers are used to this, right? I mean, if you're a missionary, I've gone on a few mission trips. You go, you get all your vaccines, you're very prepared, and then there are some medications you travel with for this exact situation, but you usually travel with 2 to 3. This is really designed to really help you be prepared. Before we talk about, because I know everyone's just like, tell me how to get it, I'm ready, let me, 2 clicks and you can buy. Let's talk, though, a little bit more about the add-ons, because there's some really impressive add-ons here. That you can add on to this pack to all 3 programs. So would you go over those real quick?
Of course. You have things like, of course there's a cough suppressant in here, Tessalon, but you do have things like promethazine that you can have access to as an add-on. There are things for, chronic ailments. That's one thing. A lot of people think, okay, this is in the event of, maybe I get strep throat. Maybe you just don't have access to your medication, or you're worried I might not be able to meet my, speak with my provider in the future. You want to have this on hand. Things like low-dose naltrexone, which can be used to abate chronic infections. Naltrexone can be used for so many different things, and I highly recommend, if you're curious about how to use naltrexone, to reach out to one of our healthcare providers or watch some of our previous podcasts. But in the event of an emergency, it is an amazing add-on for, inflammatory problems and pain. Even, the 2 that people are usually asking about the most to be EpiPens and Narcan. 2 things that really are not replaceable, especially, in any form. EpiPens and Narcan are life-saving devices that really some people have trouble getting access to.
Michaela, for those that don't know, just quickly, EpiPen, I know
Yeah.
what that is because I have a daughter with a peanut allergy. But
Mhm.
go ahead and talk about, just for a second, what is the EpiPen
Sure.
and then Narcan, in
Yes.
case you don't know and you've been under a rock. Tell us what it is.
Sure. So EpiPens, a lot of people would be familiar with these, like Clay said, if they have a more advanced allergy. So these are usually things like peanuts, shellfish. A lot of people, it kind of depends on their particular allergy. But an EpiPen is a high dose of epinephrine that helps abate a allergic reaction that onsets very quickly. It is not meant to be, prednisone is in here, which is something that can help with allergies and inflammation. An EpiPen is really to be used in the event that someone is having swelling, cannot breathe, and desperately needs life-saving
Right.
endeavors. And most ambulances and such will carry EpiPens, but like we said, a lot of the times it's rapid.
Well, it's too late
You need
once the
this
ambulance
now.
is there. Usually.
Yeah, you need this now. So if it's even if you don't have an allergy or your children, I have a sister-in-law who the first time she gave her children peanuts, she did it in the hospital parking lot. Right? And it's like you do that because you never know. You really don't know what allergies are until you're exposed to things. That's why when the doctor asks you, do you have any drug allergies? You say no. What they write down is no known drug allergies because you really don't know until you're exposed to these things. EpiPens are really important to have on hand because, there's, like we said earlier in this podcast, there's no price for peace of mind.
Yeah. Well, what if you serve a peanut butter dish at your house and one of your
nieces.
Yeah, someone else.
A friend.
So talk about Narcan, though.
Yes.
That's another one.
So some people seem to think, I don't need to have Narcan because of their, I don't have anyone in my life who would overdose. Narcan is something that is used intranasally. It's an intranasal spray that's used to abate the symptoms of an opioid overdose. The thing there is that sometimes you don't know you're exposed to an opioid. So things like fentanyl are very potent medications, and especially in the event of an emergency when you don't know the people around you, or you're in an area that's very unstable. Narcan is something that you really should have on you, not because you expect something to happen, but you want to be prepared if it does.
Yep.
Even if it's an accident. Right? Sometimes people do accidentally overdose. And even if it is, God forbid, on purpose, you can help abate those effects. And it really is a life-saving medication that most people, I have some on hand. I always have an EpiPen, in my car just in case.
Yep.
That you really should have on hand.
Yep.
And it's hard to get access to.
It's just a responsible thing to have.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's jump to it. Everyone's excited about how simple is it to get this?
Yeah.
Well, I'll challenge you. You want to see how simple it is? Call your doctor, call your primary care doctor today, and tell him you want this list of medications to be prepared. And then listen to him hang up on you at that point, or her.
Yep.
So it couldn't be easier. Simply go to our website, eliteepk.com. There you'll simply see a button in the right-hand corner where you can buy now. Or if you want to learn a little bit more about the bags, you can scroll down there. We'll tell you everything that the bag treats, what's included, get all the information you need. And then when you're ready, click on complete form. There, complete questionnaire. Sorry. All right. You ready? So it couldn't be easier. Simply go to our website, eliteepk.com. There, if you're ready to buy, simply click on the Buy Now button in the right-hand corner. If you have some additional questions or want to do some additional research, simply scroll down. You'll see all the advantages and the things that the kit treats. And then as you get down, you'll learn more about exactly what is in the kit. Once you're ready to buy it, then simply click on Complete Questionnaire. There you're going to answer a simple few questions. Make some acknowledgments about not sharing the medication and ensuring that you attempt to seek treatment from a provider before taking these medications in an emergency. And then simply pick the kit that you want. You'll see there that we have the basic, advanced, and elite. Pick the one that you want to buy, answer those questions, and you'll be on your way being prepared and ready for any situation for you and your family. Again, thanks for being with us today. We hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you're not as prepared as you need to be, maybe you have food, water, some basic essentials, a generator, but you haven't yet. Maybe you've put together a little bug out bag that has some over-the-counter ointments and things in that, but you haven't gotten the things that you need in the event of a true illness. Here it is. It's all set for you. Just simply check it out. We hope you join us on future podcasts, and please visit our website, elitehealthonline.com, for all your health and wellness needs. Be happy to take care of you.